the convener, Comrade Jeff Hadebe, who's going to talk to us later on. The first convener, Comrade Weziwe Tusi, that we are program directing together. She's the core program director. In our midst, we've got coordinator, Comrade Michael Mabuya Kulu, DM. He's also going to set the tone of the meeting. The deputy coordinator, Comrade Nomusa Dube Ngcobe, who's going to be acknowledging all the guests that are here today. We've got PTT members who are also present on my left. At least I could just highlight that there is Dr. Sbongiseni Dlomo, who is the member, Comrade Nomalungelo Gina, who is the member, Comrade Ntokozo Ngcobo, who is the chair of the Youth League and the member of the PTT, Comrade Mafika Mdebele, who is the member of the PTT, Comrade Sizophila Mkhize, who is the member. I saw Comrade Amanda Bani, who is also the member responsible for communication in the province. There is Comrade Zinhle Cele as well, who is also the member. Those are the members. In our midst, we have the member from the Royal House Yawazulu, Umntwana Africa, Wasonkweni Makeba. Siyabingela, we are mostly welcome, and we are uniquely unveiled in this platform. Siyabonga ukuba nabantwana abasendlunkulu, ukhongolose kade yakhiwa ukhokho wenu isilo sasosuthu sasingxenye. We are glad. In our midst, we've got Babu Elias Pidoso, who's also the special envoy of the president, is also here. We've got different fora in the business. The Growth Coalition is represented as well, and we are glad and delighted. Different spectrum of the business is joining us. Others are still gonna join. And in terms of the invitations, we tried by all means to cover the length and breadth of the business in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, big and small, SMMEs. So the decision was taken that we are able to coexist and deliberate on strategic antennae of what will give the proper outlook of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I'm Siboniso Duma, the member of the PTT as well. I've been assigned today just to program direct this session, and which deals key features of the business in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I'm sure as we engage and entice the space, you'll understand that we are duty bound as the movement from time to time as our culture to interact with the business so that they give us a Q analysis. What do they understand at this point in time in terms of the material condition, the investment? Government is also obliged to create a conducive environment for business to thrive. But we do from time to time intervene whenever there is a need, as we understand the imbalances of the past. I hope, Ndiema and Comrade Jeff, that the issue of VAT will not be the decimal line today. The aim is the business. What transpired in the 7th administration, there are many matters, but ongoing we're going to deal with them. So I think we are starting in that way. I hope the national team is ready. Is it ready? Thank you so much. We are all going to rise and start in a formal way. The male, please remember that you take off your hat, not unless you are in the service. You are then allowed. So we'll do it. Thank you.
Oh
you so much. We remain standing and do the universal prayer in your individual understanding just for a few seconds. Amen. You may be seated. Thank you for that. It's like there was a choir master, or it was an opera of some sort. The tone was the same. It was like there was someone who's giving the cue as to how you must do. And the acoustic of this venue is very relevant and giving us that. Comrade Msa, I'm sure you are ready to welcome our guests and acknowledge them at the same time. The platform is yours.
Thank you very much, Comrade Ntombeni, the second Deputy Convener. Do wish to acknowledge the convener of the PTT of KwaZulu-Natal, Comrade Jeff, the first Deputy Convener, Comrade Weziwe Tusi, the coordinator, Comrade Mike Mabiakulu, the members of the Kzn PTT that are present. I think we also have the Deputy Minister, Anc Kzn, present amongst us, and other members of the legislature that are also present. I do also wish to acknowledge the chairperson of the ANC Youth League in our province, and the leadership of the eThekwini region that is present. I want to acknowledge the various sectors from our business communities that are present, but we have amongst us present here this morning the members from the NAFCOC business, as well as the NAFCOC women that are present, the Kzn Growth Coalition, we acknowledge you, eThekwini Youth Cooperatives Forum, they're also present, Minara Chamber is also present, led by Comrade Patel, Durban Chamber of Commerce, led by its CEO, Mrs. Pili. We also have various business leaders from various industries, the French Embassy and other members of the diplomatic corps that are present, the Bank of Angola, as well as the envoy of Angola that is present amongst us, the Progressive Business Forum. We also have in our midst the CEO of Brand South Africa. Brand South Africa is in our midst, the CEO of our country, Mr. Manchi. I think I saw you somewhere. He is amongst us, as well as other business luminaries that are present here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. Acknowledge Mtombeni, umntwana wasenkeni okanye nathi futhi siyajabulela lokho siyakubonga. It is both an honor, ladies and gentlemen, to us as the African National Congress and a privilege to welcome you here this morning on this important engagement between your organizations as well as the African National Congress. And on behalf of the ANC Provincial Task Team, we extend our heartfelt, warm greetings to all of you. And we wish to thank you for availing yourself to come to this critical dialogue on the future of our organization, but also on the future of our province and our economy. Chairperson, allow me to also begin by congratulating our former Deputy Minister of Finance, Comrade ABC Cebisi Jonas on his appointment as a South African new envoy to the US. And we could see that the discussion now, people are confusing the envoy with the ambassadorial work. Mr. Jonas is just an envoy. And it is also very significant in our diplomatic relations, and it was such a strategic move from our president to really select one of our very experienced visionary, a leader in his own right, representing our interest abroad, especially in such a key economic post, but also at such a critical moment in time of the geopolitics in the whole world. And we wholeheartedly commend our president for this move, and we wish Comrade Jonas all the best. I also want to urge our business here today to rally behind, our president, because his success is the success of this country. I know that this is a very important move from the president, and having served myself as an ambassador previously in the Czech Republic, I know how important it is to firm up in the understanding of the first hand of the complexities of balancing the national priorities and while navigating the foreign policies, and also making sure that our foreign trade relations are boosted in those various countries. So we really want to say that Mr. Jonas is going to be carrying our flag, but also our aspirations for inclusive growth that we are talking about here today. The ANC's microeconomic reform policy is very clear, but I'm sure our leadership that is here today is going to be talking about that we need to create jobs and fight corruption, but also fight the triple challenges of poverty, inequality, as well as the unemployment. And these are not just the government problems. These are the societal problems. These are challenges that require all of us to put our efforts together. And we wish to really call upon all of you as business today, engaging with the African National Congress, to work with our country, to work with all our leaders, to ensure that South Africa and our province unleash its full potential in terms of creating jobs and growing our economy. We need to also begin using our bilateral agreements with countries such as the BRICS countries and our BRICS partners. With the BRICS having been expanded, we really saw last time when we hosted BRICS as South Africa, we saw quite a huge potential for South African businesses to be able to trade amongst the BRICS countries, partners like China, Brazil, India, and many others. Particularly issues around the import of raw materials and manufactured goods locally, rather than flooding our markets with the finished imports. And that is how we need to look at the issues of industrialization and how we need to build our economy if we are all serious about it. I remember a few years ago, we spoke about the special economic zones, especially the textile one. And we worked very hard in the 6th administration to make sure that we realize this textile, zone with Mtombeni. But I think it's one area that we still need to push and work very hard if we are to succeed, because we risk falling behind many countries as we see what is happening in the British. We saw the British government intervening to save the British steel. And over the past weekend, we saw that on the media, how the British was really aggressively trying to save those industry. And we as well here in South Africa, we have been doing our work, our coordinator has been also working very hard with a team to ensure that we save our ArcelorMittal in Newcastle, but also the Asmark smelter in Ridge. So these are all the areas that we hope and we believe that there's a lot that we need to work together with business to ensure that indeed we put our country, but also our province, into the economic trajectory that will change the landscape of our province and create jobs for the better. So let us all not forget the role that our government, the ANC-led government, is doing in resolving the energy crisis. Sometimes we look at it now and we think it's just normal that there are lights and the economy is moving. And sometimes we forget to understand that the economy is moving, the country is moving, because there's a lot of work that is being put by our leadership behind all of those things to work. So I want to challenge business community here today, gathered to explore the full potential also of the technology, issues of artificial intelligence, emerging technologies. The fourth industrial world, it's now the fifth industrial revolution, is not the future, but it's something that is happening already now, and we need not to be left behind if we are to recover our economies. So we wish to welcome all of you, and in this dialogue, let's talk transformation, but also let's leave transformation, let's leave industrialization, let's talk and leave employment, let's build the province of KwaZulu-Natal and South Africa, because it lies in us uniting, it lies in us putting our heads together so that we have a shared purpose and responsibility to a future of our children, to the future of the generations to come. So thank you very much, Chairperson. You're all welcome.
Surely we can do better than that. It's still in the morning. The energy levels are still high. The brain set are sharp, waiting just to grasp and take everything. Let us give the coordinator a chance, who's just going to be turning the tone today. So the setting is going to be done by Comrade Ndiema. Comrade Ndiema, the platform is yours. Thank you
very much. Well, thank you very much, Mtombeni. The leadership of the ANC that has just been introduced, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. The African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal is deeply humbled by the overwhelming positive response from the business sector to our invitation to break bread this morning. Our invitation arises from the profound regard in which we hold the business sector in our province as a vital stakeholder whose involvement is essential for fostering a society characterized by equality, unity, shared prosperity, and stability. The ANC operates under the premise that all social partners need not only to feel, but also practically experience that they are play a unique role in shaping the future of our country and by extension, the future of our province. Compatriot friends, comrades, we have been given a very simple task this morning, the task of stating the objectives of today's engagement. As we do so, let us start by sharing in a brief context that give rise to today's engagement. Compatriots, it is a matter of common cause that the ANC suffered adverse results at the 2024 general elections. And as genuine Democrats, the ANC accepted the outcome of that election. Now, our acceptance stemmed from a deep understanding of our role as a movement that not only brought democracy post-1994, but also carries the duty to defend it. it would have been in the height of hypocrisy as well as reckless to denounce the results simply because they did not go in our favor. We believe that any observer from outside the borders of our country would have strongly concurred with us when we assert that our democracy is maturing. Following these results and other considerations, the national leadership of the African National Congress appointed a 66-member provincial task team to lead the renewal and rebuilding of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. Working as a collective, this task team has been hard at work, assessing the state of the organization, rekindling strategic relationships, and particularly taking the ANC back to the people. We are pleased with this progress we have made over the past month and a half, but we appreciate that our work is far from over. These are early days. Today's meeting is but one step towards ensuring that we take the ANC back to its rightful owners, the people of this province. We have taken a very clear decision that we will act and we will consult with all components of society. The biggest motivation behind the formation of the Government of Provincial Unity was to bring stability to our province. If we learned anything at all from the 2021 July unrest, it was that if issues are not brought under control timeously, these can quickly escalate into a disaster from which recovery is difficult. In fact, so swift were we to conclude a coalition government deal that governed KwaZulu-Natal. We did so even much more earlier than the conclusion of the Government of National Unity agreement, because I guess all of those parties that were negotiating, they were worried about ensuring that we create a stability for this province. The ANC is firmly committed in the creation of stability in KwaZulu-Natal. We further want to underscore the point that despite the recent developments at the national government level, the Government of Provincial Unity in KwaZulu-Natal is not only stable, but is also seized with the task of building a better province and delivering services to our people. Where there are differences among the Government of Provincial Unity partners, a mechanism has been developed to try and mediate and resolve those differences as early as we can. We have delved deeper into the work of the GPU, the new issues that may arise, but there are enough measures in that understanding between the parties to address even those issues that the original coalition agreement may not have contemplated. Indeed, there is stability in this province. We regard the GPU as the ANC as a very important tactical site of struggle. And in this regard, our commitment is unwavering. Compatriots, the role of business in our nation's progress cannot be overstated. As leaders in commerce and industry, business holds the keys to unlocking the inclusive growth and job creation, which remain central to our shared vision of prosperity of the future. In KwaZulu-Natal, a province rich in potential, your investment in infrastructure, manufacturing and tourism can catalyze economic transformation, creating opportunities that uplift communities and drive sustainable development. As we tackle the pressing challenges of poverty and the high cost of living, we look to you as partners in fostering equitable access to economic opportunities. Your commitment to ethical practices and social responsibility will not only enhance your reputation, but also contribute to the broader goal of reducing inequality. In KwaZulu-Natal, this means supporting small and medium enterprises, empowering local talent, and addressing service delivery gaps that hinder progress. Today, we can ensure that the province becomes a beacon of hope and a model for inclusive development. Critically, the foundation of our collaboration must be built on trust, integrity, and a shared commitment to excellence. A capable, ethical, and developmental state is essential for creating an environment where businesses can thrive. We pledge to work tirelessly to strengthen governance and foster a professional public service that supports your endeavors. In return, we urge you to embrace innovation, sustainability, and the community engagement as guiding principles. And let us unite our efforts to build a South Africa that works for all, starting with the immense potential that we have here in KwaZulu-Natal. But we do face challenges. Compatriots, let me start with, let us address the elephant in the room. The fact that South Africa has been experiencing a highly constrained fiscal framework for the last 10 years has resulted in the reality that we had to reduce the expenditure side. Amidst all of this, we were confronted by the COVID-19 pandemic, by the 2021 July unrest, and on top of that, the natural disasters, which all forced the state to find additional resources to respond. All of this happened amidst the rise in the cost of living and all other attributable costs. It is within this context that we should consider the proposed budget that is currently being negotiated by the various parties in the National Assembly. This includes all options of increasing revenue streams, including the option of increasing the value-added tax at a rate of 0.5%. Apart from the fact that we would have to mobilize an additional 28 billion rand, the state needs to mobilize resources that can be directed towards the prevention of rendering redundant at least 17,000 teachers here in KwaZulu-Natal, the appointment of more than 1,600 unemployed doctors, and the other healthcare professionals, as well as the zero rating of the basic foodstuff as a means of providing the relief for the poor. And on top of this, we also are talking about the growing demand for a social wage. All of this requires us to be able to boost our revenue generation. If we focus on the revenue side, and we say less about the expenditure side, the truth of the matter is that we all know of the golden principles of the ever-diminishing returns. If we don't raise revenue, we cannot go and borrow in order to finance the recurrent expenditure. It is simply as that, ladies and gentlemen. These are tough choices. And these choices requires us to deal with them. And in dealing with these choices, we are required then to be able to be honest with ourselves and with our people when we deal with issues of this nature. The other obstacles that may hinder progress include inadequate infrastructure. We need to fund infrastructure to the tune of about R1 trillion at least for the next medium-term expenditure framework. The ongoing service delivery issues and social instability. These challenges, along with the widening gap between the formal and informal businesses and the ANC, necessitate decisive action to restore trust and unlock the KwaZulu-Natal vast potential. The ANC will support all initiatives that are aimed at boosting investment into our province and creating opportunities for us all. The ANC, as a party of the Government of Provincial Unity, stand ready to strengthen governance, streamline regulatory processes, and implement targeted interventions to create a conducive environment for business operations. And as an example of that, compatriots, our nation expands. As our nation expands, new challenges arise, and we must refine our responses to effectively address these issues. The Presidential Anc Kzn Working Group is a significant initiative developed by our President, His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa. It was launched in the Anc Kzn municipality after discussion between the President and the various stakeholders, including business. The success of the pair work model has led to its replication in the other parts of the country, including the city of Johannesburg. Barely a year old, the success of this pair work initiative is not based on a mere assertions, but on facts. For example, the business confidence has improved from a low of 45% to over 60.7% in the fourth quarter of 2024. The Anc Kzn Metro Municipality has entered into an agreement with Umngeni Tugela Water for the operation and the maintenance of its 10 largest wastewater treatment works, which account for 90% of the wastewater treatment. And finally, in the final effluent compliance has moved from 49% in 2023 to 68% in 2024. So as the PERC execute its task, new and unforeseen challenges have sprung to the fore, and that is why last week we hosted a 2-day strategic planning exercise that we refer to as an action lab, targeting the mandate areas where we are not registering significant cadence in them. In these labs, all social partners participate towards finding a long-lasting solution and unlocking progress. Among the outcomes, of course, of the labs is that it's dealing with the issue of the partnership framework that should be concluded this year. The second one is also dealing with finalizing the issue of the Go Durban, amongst others, and then there are very specific timelines to try and conclude that between May and June of this year. So we are saying, the ANC says, as new challenges emerge, we must be flexible and adaptable so that we can come up with solutions that fit the challenge or respond to the challenge at hand. Compatriots, the future of a country is in our hands. As South Africans, we are in this together. We either swim together or sink together. We invite the business sector to join us in a partnership to grow the economy, to create jobs, and to reduce poverty and inequality. It is on this basis that we urge the KwaZulu-Natal business community to take a bold stand and invest in the economy of the province. In return, the ANC will ensure that in both the province and local municipalities in which we govern, that we play the role of being a catalyst, a facilitator, an enabler, and intervene in areas that would support private sector investment. Compatriots, it is the duty of all of us to create an inclusive economy. In this regard, economic transformation remains an imperative that all of us must embrace as we build this model economy. As the ANC, there are key issues that we have identified as being critical to fixing local government in KwaZulu-Natal. And we are prioritizing local government because it is both the location and determinant of economic growth and development initiatives. These include roads and stormwater maintenance, solid waste management, general infrastructure maintenance, electricity load reduction, addressing electricity and water debt, disaster management, and improved access to water. The ANC is serious about building functional local municipalities that serve all its citizens as required by law. In pursuit of this, we'll be supporting our municipalities while ensuring that we have accountability sessions with communities. We expect both ethical and corrupt-free behavior in all the municipalities where we govern. So the purpose of the meeting, therefore, this morning, at a high level, the purpose of our engagement with you, the business fraternity this morning, firstly, is to formally introduce the PTT to the business community. Second, is to reaffirm the ANC's commitment to collaborate with business sector in advancing inclusive economic growth and development. Third, to commit the ANC and the various governments it leads, or is a partner to, as an enabler and a catalyst for economic development. Fourth, to foster ongoing engagement with both formal and informal businesses, regardless of their size, as we unlock the province's economic potential. And last, to lay the ground for a social compact between the ANC and all facets of the business community. As I conclude, compatriots, the ANC commits to working with all those who would like to join hands in addressing the challenges that we face. The ANC appreciates the saying that says, "Heavy lies the head that wears the crown," close quote. We therefore, during this period, not only do we need cool and calm heads in dealing with issues of national importance, but we also have the responsibility to chart a clear way forward. We understand that this task requires inviting others to partner with us in this journey, and we therefore have no illusions that we shall not achieve all of this on our own. Hence, we are inviting all sectors of the business to play their part. This is the first of many engagements that the ANC will host with the business sector, and many more are in the pipeline. And after today, we will then be engaging through you, using our own Economic Transformation Commission that it actually will also continue to engage. But the ANC will always interact with you. Please feel free to support the African National Congress. Thank you very much.
I thought you were still proceeding the way you were just pacing yourself. Thank you so much. We can give him a huge round of applause, Comrade Ndiema, for that clarion call and clear perspective on what the ANC stands for. He's amongst our ideologues in the movement, and we are glad and delighted that you are also presenting him. Comrade Jeff Hatebe grew up and was born and bred at Kwamashu, the Marshall town. He's the son of the soil in the province. He went further, spent some time in exile, spent some time in Robben Island. So he's a well-trained guerrilla lomkhonto wesizwe wangempela. He served in the Madiba's cabinet. So started from 94. He spent almost 20 years as the cabinet, 25 years as a cabinet minister. So the road that you see, the road network in South Africa, even the starting of Sanral, was as a result of his what had come up in the process. We are glad and delighted that he's amongst those. He served as a former chairperson as well, whilst the KZN was not yet integrated. So eThekwini and Port Shepstone used to be led by his intelligentsia. He also served in many subcommittees at the national level. So justice was his game. And yesterday he represented the movement in the inquest which revolved and also involve our stalwart, President General Luthuli, and our stalwart Mxenge. And on Tuesday, who will be amongst the witness in that memorial case that is going to serve as the legacy project. Let us also give him a platform. Comrade Pungane, the platform is yours. He's the main speaker from the ANC to be representing us. Ayosafara kahlukani ke nabo abaqala kudala na icise wakhohlwa Pungane.
Thank you, Director of the program. Distinguished business leaders, members of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and other chambers of industry who are present here today, the KwaZulu-Natal Growth Coalition, international guests, including my friend and comrade, Elias, the Special Business Envoy of His Excellency, the President of Angola, other international guests from Nigeria, Dubai, and so on, our esteemed partners and stakeholders in the development of this great province of KwaZulu-Natal, and also their Royal Highnesses who are present here, who have also been acknowledged. I welcome you all to this business breakfast engagement hosted by the African National Congress. It is with deep humility and profound sense of purpose that I stand before you on behalf of the provincial task team of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. As it has been indicated, this structure has been appointed by the leadership of the ANC in order to ensure that we effect a turnaround of the ANC, as we had a disaster in May 2024 when we got 40% nationally and a mere 17% here in KwaZulu-Natal. I'm an eternal optimist. This moment calls not for despair, but it calls for renewal of the ANC and the people as a whole. Our aim is to ensure that we work tirelessly to restore the ANC to its rightful place as a leader in KwaZulu-Natal and in society as a whole. So this morning, I'm here to speak openly as well as constructively about the state of our beloved province. And for this purpose, I want to focus my attention on 3 municipalities of KwaZulu-Natal who are economic drivers of this province, and that is Umsunduzi Municipality, Umhlathuze, and eThekwini Metro. For both the ANC and the business community, these municipalities are our shared home, are our shared responsibility. This does not detract from the performance of all other municipalities in our province. I believe that all these municipalities and the province is our shared home and responsibility. I'm honing in on what is possible and doing in these strategic areas as a starting point, as a matter of extreme urgency. In so doing, the ANC acknowledges one profound truth, and that is any renewal of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, and eThekwini in particular, as our only metro in KwaZulu-Natal, is impossible without engaging, without honoring, without working hand in hand with you as the business sector. This joint custodianship of economic development and growth belongs to both of us. May therefore this be the beginning of many constructive discussions and debates as partners in this great city of Umsunduzi, Umhlathuze, and Durban. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather at a time when our municipalities are at a crossroads. Progress is evident, yes, but so too are challenges that will test our collective resolve. And I'm aware that there is a firm resolve within the business sector itself. The ANC has close cadres and colleagues in the business community, and I took time to listen to them before this breakfast engagement, and hence acknowledge the role that business is playing in our society and remains playing and continuing to play into the future. And our movement, the ANC, is eternally grateful for your unwavering support. Msunduzi Municipality, despite many challenges that this municipality is facing, we believe that there are several strategic economic advantages that contribute to its development potential and attractiveness as an investment destination. Key aspects are, amongst others, the following: its geographic location. Msunduzi is situated near the provincial capital, which is Pietermaritzburg, and has good road and rail connectivity to major urban centers, including this beautiful city of Durban. This location facilitates trade and commerce, making it a strategic point for logistics as well as transportation. But I also want to talk about its historic significance. As the capital of KwaZulu-Natal province, Umgungundlovu, has historical and cultural significance which can attract tourism and investment in heritage-related initiatives. On infrastructure development, this municipality has been focusing on improving its infrastructure, including roads and services, and other utilities which help to create a conducive environment for business operations and enhances the quality of life of our residents. It also has a diverse economic base. The economy of Msunduzi is diversified, encompassing sectors such as manufacturing, retail, agriculture, and services. This diversification can help mitigate risk associated with adverse economic fluctuations in any single sector. Let's not forget about education and skills development. The presence of institutions of higher learning, including the University of KwaZulu-Natal, contributes to the availability of a skilled workforce and promotes research and innovation which can support local business communities. There are also incentives for investment. This municipality offers incentives for businesses to invest in this area, including tax breaks or support programs for small and medium enterprises to encourage economic activity. It also has a huge tourism potential, with various attractions such as natural parks, historic sites like the Mandela Arrest Site, and other cultural festivals. Msunduzi has the potential to harness tourism as a significant driver of economic growth. Agricultural opportunities. The surrounding areas of Msunduzi are involved in agriculture, presenting opportunities for agribusiness initiatives, food production, as well as agri-tourism. I believe that by leveraging these economic advantages, Msunduzi municipality can work towards sustainable economic development and improve living conditions for all its residents. For this vision to become a reality, our government, your government, and the private sector, they need to work together. Let me refer to Umhlatuze. Umhlatuze is those areas around Richards Bay. While there are grave concerns about the overall performance of Umhlatuze municipality, we can look to a very rapid turnaround strategy. Of greater importance is the focus of Umhlatuze municipality as a very important economic hub. Richards Bay's harbor's strategic advantages include its deep water port, proximity to major coal fields, and connection to the national rail network, making it a key hub for bulk cargo, particularly for coal exports, and facilitating the growth of the Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone. It also benefits from its role as a potential LNG hub and its ability to accommodate large vessels, further enhancing its position as a global gateway. A more detailed look at its advantages include, amongst others, proximity to coal resources. Richards Bay is strategically located near the coal fields of Mpumalanga, with a direct rail link facilitating the transport of coal to the port. This proximity has historically made it a primary coal export channel for South Africa and the whole of the SADC region as a whole. It also is a deep water port and a huge vessel capacity whose depth allows it to handle large size vessels, which are the largest dry cargo ships, and its capacity is very crucial for efficient and cost-efficient, effective bulk cargo handling and exports. Rail and road infrastructure. A dedicated rail line connects Richards Bay to the coal fields and the industrial heartland of Gauteng called Coal Link. Road networks further enhance accessibility for trucks transporting goods to and from the port. As I've said earlier on, this area is also a Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone declared by the President and the Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition. And this zone is strategically located at port, attracting export-oriented investors, creating a strong industrial and trade hub. This zone offers competitive incentives, including tax and duty-free benefits and a world-class infrastructure. It is also diversified. Sorry about that. Can I have that? My new iPhone is my new iPhone. My daughter is not here to assist me to correct it properly. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. As I said, that it is a deep water port and vessel capacity. Then the rail and road infrastructure. A dedicated rail line, as I've indicated, links this part of our province to the economic heartland of Gauteng. And the Richards Bay is also very significant as an LNG hub. Let me come to eThekwini Metro. I want to add what our coordinator has said, that the establishment of the Presidential eThekwini Working Group by the President has done a great deal to assist in ensuring that we improve the economies of scale here at eThekwini. And one of the major successes of this presidential task team is to ensure that there is a major win in the Umkomazi wastewater project, and also a notable decrease in non-revenue water that has been indicated, as well as the reduction in terms of sewage fault leakages. But I want also to focus on the issue that needs to be done to correct some of the challenges that face this beautiful metro. On the infrastructure decade and water crisis, A city without a reliable water system cannot attract or retain investment, high per capita consumption, budget backlogs, and an infrastructure vandalism that we see from time to time. Bulk supply delays and construction mafias continue to hamper critical water and sanitation projects. Whilst a turnaround strategy is in place, we need to do more to effect a turnaround. I therefore believe that addressing waterfalls within 48 hours peaked to about 86% in November 2024, but has recently declined to about 74%. Similarly, the percentage of water connections that are metered and billed on actual monthly readings has declined from a peak of 80% in November to about 70% in January of this year. These targets must be maintained and increased so that we can be able to ensure that this momentum is maintained. We know the issues of flood disasters that have adverse weather conditions which has continued to place risk to any gains that have been made, and that there is further damage to aging infrastructure. The businesses in the eThekwini municipality were hit by a plethora of knockbacks in the past 4 years with the COVID-19 pandemic, major floods that we saw since 2021. As eThekwini Metro is taking decisive steps, including launching the Water Secure eThekwini platform and establishing a non-revenue water brand, but private sector investment and support is very essential. I'm aware that the Durban Chamber of Commerce, whose CEO is here, Palisa, welcome Mayor, and industry, has been engaging with His Excellency the President on an ongoing basis to ensure that many of these challenges are addressed conclusively. I also want to take this opportunity of thanking the Durban Chamber of Commerce for their forthrightness as well as their foresight in ensuring that they come to the party as we deal with all these challenges that affect the city. On safety and security, our business districts, especially in the CBD and key tourism zones, remain vulnerable to crime. Construction site extortion, limited port scanning capacity, and the ongoing challenge of homelessness, misclassified as a policing issue, undermine both investor confidence and our social compact. We therefore believe that a multi-pronged stakeholder approach backed by the SAPS and Metropolis will be implemented to ensure that we correct these challenges. But we need business input, funding, and collaborating security models to build safer, more inclusive urban spaces. The Chamber has been very complimentary about the role of the SSCP, that is SAPS, not SACP, has played in key economic and tourism nodes, but petty crime continues unabated. But we believe that the very energetic Provincial Commissioner Mkhwanazi will ensure that this is eradicated as a matter of extreme attention. On the issue of governance and financial discipline, the consolidated municipal budget performance report for the second quarter review for 2024-25 financial year highlighted two major challenges in the eThekwini Metro, namely the capital revenue and expenditure underperformance as well as debt concerns. eThekwini and KwaZulu-Natal province in general is able to offer diverse range of landscapes, making the city and the province a very attractive destination for adventure-seeking tourists. Our city, outside flood disaster has temperate weather conditions throughout the year, except when the special envoy came yesterday with this weather. The city outside flood disasters has temperate weather conditions throughout the year, and not so long ago could boast about the most picturesque, unique, and accessible coastline in South Africa, along with the north and south coast. Close to our city is our incredible heritage site, as I've said earlier on, in Drakensberg Mountains, not to mention our myriad of game reserves and cultural sites. It is simply unfathomable how our treasure has gone so terribly wrong. Dilapidated infrastructure, beach closures, and flood-prone areas damage Durban's brand and hinder the return of tourist and international business events. Events at our iconic Durban ICC are opting for Cape Town, which is not so bad, but as one of the initiators with Andre Kipil of the ICC, we need to bring back conferences and other important events. In terms of key projects, the Umlazi Canal, requiring up to 3 billion rand for flood mitigation, remains underfunded. The Stall bus transport project reflects our larger struggle with implementation, but our coordinator, who is a convener of this presidential task team, has indicated that progress is being made in order to ensure that that is resolved. Tourism is one of the biggest revenue generators in the city and our province, for that matter, anywhere in the world. We therefore, as the ANC, are calling for various public-private partnerships, PPPs, to co-deliver infrastructure upgrades in our city. Let's innovate funding models from naming rights to blended finance and act urgently. On human settlements and climate resilience, thousands of our people remain in temporary emergency accommodations, and key housing programs, including not so far from here in Konubia, are underfunded. This city must transition flood victims into dignified permanent homes. We ask, therefore, you as the private sector, as our partners, to building climate resilient settlements, not only to meet humanitarian needs, but to unlock land for economic activities, thereby reducing future disaster cost. Let me talk about the Durban port. On the issue of the Durban port, the Durban Chamber of Commerce has been the most vocal, and rightly so. And Transnet, our state-owned company, is a national competence. The ANC is acutely aware that the maritime gridlock of our shores and the inordinate delays in container management and transport will cause a diversion of our shipping business to other ports. When you are around the Mhlanga, you can see a lot of ships waiting to dock. We therefore believe that Durban Port is a pivotal hub for the Southern African region, serving as a trade link to the Far East, Middle East, South America, North America, and Europe as a whole. Durban is a crown jewel of Transnet's port portfolio, with the Durban Container Terminal Pier 2 handling about 72% of Durban port traffic and 46% of South Africa's import-export traffic. Whilst progress may not seem fast enough for the business sector in the city, you will know that in March of last year, as the coordinators indicated, our president chaired a meeting with the National Logistic Crisis Committee in order to deal with many of the challenges that have been highlighted. And the key initiative under our present leadership is the Freight Logistics Roadmap that was approved by Cabinet, which outlines urgent reforms in the freight logistics sector. This includes the development of a network statement to facilitate access for rail operators and the introduction of open access to the freight rail network, enabling private rail operators to utilize existing infrastructure. Also, several infrastructure upgrades are underway. A significant project involves the reconstruction and the deepening of the berths at Durban Container Terminals Pier 2, North Quay. This initiative aims to accommodate larger vessels and increase the port's capacity, positioning our Durban as a premier container and automotive hub. While all these efforts are yielding positive results, challenges remain. As Transnet has indicated, has acknowledged that years of underinvestment in equipment and maintenance has contributed to the current situation, and procuring new equipment may take 12 to 18 months. Nevertheless, the coordinated actions led by the President and various stakeholders are crucial steps towards resolving maritime gridlock on the Durban port. What needs to be done together? Ladies and gentlemen from the business sector, no single stakeholder can turn the tide alone. I believe that this is what we need to do together. We need to co-develop a PPP framework for water, for energy, for housing, and tourism infrastructure. Let's make it easier. Let's make it worthwhile. Let's business to co-invest with government. Let's support the debt recovery and financial discipline. Help us resolve long-standing accounts and assist smaller businesses to settle through innovative schemes. Let's participate in the action labs, as the coordinator has said, which has been set up to unblock stuck projects from transport to disaster recovery to law enforcement. Let's elevate business presence in working groups and civil society dialogues. You have the solutions. Bring them to the table. Let's help rebuild Durban's brand, Oza at Durban. Invest in the story of Durban. Invest in infrastructure. Invest in the possibility of eThekwini as Africa's global coastal gateway. As I conclude, I want to emphasize that the African National Congress remains deeply committed to building a developmental state, a state that listens. We are a listening organization. We are an organization that collaborates. We are an organization that corrects its course when needed. We are an organization that sees business not as a spectator, but as a co-architect of our future. Let history record that when eThekwini and KwaZulu-Natal in general, and other keynotes of development, being Umsunduzi and Umhlatuze, stood on shaky ground. It was this collective, the government, business, and the people who chose to act with agency, who chose to act with unity. A better province is possible, but only if we build it together. I thank you for your attention.
We can give him another round of applause. Thank you so much, Pungane. You learned it nicely. When you said Pungane was at Durban, I thought DJ Sianda is going to run and do some nice noise just to echo that element. Thank you so much, Comrade Convener. We want to profusely apologize. Comrade Fundraiser is not joining us today because she's part of the program, but you must also understand that her daughter has been conferred. She has just finished her pupillage. It's a good thing. So today she's going to be welcoming in the jurist of legal fraternity world. So we are glad about that. And thank you so much. I nearly thought that you are clapping for me. I'm glad you are. No, it says this. That is why I was confused a bit. But thank you so much. The co-program director is going to take us over from now, the engagement. There will be a roving mic, Tukelo. I think they will be afforded 3 minutes each piece so that we engage. ANC believes in that whenever we meet, we must engage and engage the leadership. The platform is yours, Comrade Tusi.
Thank you very much, Co-Program Director. Greetings to the leadership of the ANC, distinguished guests from the business leadership, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. We feel delighted that you are here. We are now going to continue with our program where we are going to have engagements. Anybody can raise a hand and we give you 3 minutes. We have a roving mic here. This leadership has been given a responsibility of rebuilding and the renewing of the ANC. We felt it was important for us to talk to you as the business community. We'll now hand over to you to talk to us. Thank you. Please introduce yourself in 3 minutes, Balisa.
Good morning to the ANC leadership and business leaders here this morning. My name is Balisa Pili. I'm the CEO of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I must say we are very happy to hear that the key concerns that we did even highlight and raise with the President, water, sanitation, distribution of electricity, that businesses need to also participate and come and invest in that critical infrastructure is also being seen as a very important element within the ANC, and we really would like to see that happening. I know Mr. Mabuya Kulu knows we've had various discussions about the most important thing is we need to find a financial model, because we've got some corporates that are saying we're already here, we've already invested here, we're already paying rates. How can we make sure that we fix this infrastructure so that people, especially in the South, do not suffer as they are when it comes to the issue of water and sanitation? So very, very important that as a matter of urgency, we really do get a financial model to get businesses up and going. I just want to raise a point that I think, you raised everything very important, and there is a very strong excitement and wanting for businesses here in our province to partner with government. I think it would be good for us to maybe just re-engage, maybe in a smaller audience with yourselves, with some of the business leaders, to identify exactly which areas can we work on and how can we move forward. There's one area that we really didn't hear today, and is the issue of corruption, consequence management, and accountability. None of those things are done in any of the municipalities you mentioned, and we really would like to see that happening. People are just looting with impunity. not delivering services, and nothing has been done to them. We really want to see these people held accountable. We really want to see service delivery. We really want to see consequence management. The last one that I just want to also mention, I know that we're in the middle of global challenges as we speak, in terms of, tariffs and all those kind of things. I'm hoping that this is not live. Is it live? Okay. So the challenges that we have is majority of our industry.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You can please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Anc
3
Kzn.
minutes. Palisa took more than 3 minutes.
Hi, thanks, and thanks to the speakers and the coordinators. Really appreciate the invite. Jeff, like you, I'm an optimist. We stood in Ananda when Madiba cast his first vote,